Okay. So could we have, I'm going to record it as well. So I hope I am. Yes, there we are. That's fine. So could I have the first person who was in the room, which the person living in Canada, not living at the moment in Florida. So that's you, Paula. You live in Canada?
Trying to unmute. I'm Paula from Canada, and I'm so excited to be here. Nice to see you all.
And I'm excited to see you, Paula. Yay! Good. Well done. Thank you. And the other lady from Canada, who's actually not in Canada at all, but is down south. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miranda. I'm from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, but currently I'm in Winter Garden, Florida, working for Disney.
Yay! A very nice job to have too. Excellent. Yeah. He is. Brilliant. Thank you. And a person who I think you may have seen occasionally this morning, who's actually in charge of letting the people in, and has got, is that you?
For me? Hello.
Yep.
I'm from the Midlands in the UK, and I'm really excited for my third session of the day.
Excellent.
Fourth session of the day.
Oh, that's very good. Well, you didn't make any of mine. That's all I'm just saying. Just saying.
What I'm saying.
Okay. And the other one who's got this fantastic name that's all to do with the thing that we're using now, which is Zoom.
Hello. I'm well, it says Zoombelina, but I'm Debbie, and I'm in Leicester in the Midlands, just a bit further down south from Rita. And I'm sorry I didn't make your 6 o'clock, Rhiannon, but I didn't come off till 3, so I was having a bit of a kip.
You're not allowed to kip. Not allowed to kip at Omni College. Excellent. Thank you. Nicola, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? I'm sure everybody knows everybody, but it's just quite nice to get names.
I'm Nicola, and I'm a Yorkshire girl, but I live not far from Manchester Airport in Cheshire in the northwest of England.
Lovely. Thank you. And the other person who's living in Florida, who's got a lovely headband on.
Yes, lovely headband. I guess that's me. I'm Sue in Fort Myers, Florida, and you can tell I'm from Florida because I'm already cold with a sweatshirt on.
Figure. Thank you. And the other lady who's now living in Germany.
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm Suzanne, currently living in Germany.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So this is something which is called the personal vocal improvement. And we've all been involved in, well, I was going to say we've heard about the self-evaluation sessions that are going on, and it's helping you think about how you're singing and what you're doing. Well, this is a program that's been developed over many, many years. Okay. And I'm going to start in an unusual way. I'm going to, oh, wait a minute. See, I've forgotten this now. That's what I want. Okay. And I'm putting all of you down the bottom so I can see what's going on. Right, okay. This personal vocal improvement, it's an approach to help singers strengthen their voices. So we're all singers, so we could all learn from using this. It's quite an important thing. And it's something that you can do on your own. So I'm actually going to start at the other end of this thing, if I can get it down. Here we go. And these are the acknowledgements, and it's really important to understand this. I first came across this as a program of personal vocal improvement when Alison Cheney, this lady here, presented it to the Babs Directors College in 2009. And she was appointed by Sweethearts as one of their singing people. And together, all of these people, and some of these names, in fact, I'm sure most of these names will be familiar to many of you who are Sweet Adelines. Okay, and she presented it in 2009, and it really, really is a good program. Really good program. It's essentially for music team people, section leaders, and anybody involved in improving singing within their own chorus or quartet. But then I've modified it a little bit, and then I've run it with 2 choruses, and it does work. People take on board the things, but it was a 1-to-1 session. Now I've modified it, to what it is here. And I just think that by sharing this, and you can access all of these suggestions, it will help you have a format to work on. If you're trying to think, when you look and you listen to what you've done, can that be better? What am I doing there? What do I want to improve? Do I know of what I could do to get it better? Here it is. It's in this vocal improvement program. So that's what it's all about. Also, this program was developed by a guy called Mark Grindle, who now has a chorus, a mixed chorus. No, it's a ladies' chorus in Cyprus, and Philip Payne, who worked with me when I worked with TVC. So I want to start at the back end and acknowledge that this isn't my program. We've all developed it to be useful for everyone across the board. Okay, so that's what's called a personal, acknowledgement for what all of these people do. So why do we need to do it? Somebody not on mute? That's fine, thank you. It's a golden opportunity to improve everyone's singing individually, and it also, by doing that and thinking about it, it develops your listening skills and your analytical skills, because you're listening to yourself, you're thinking about it and reflecting, and that all is part of the process of learning. So you're evaluating and you're assessing as you're going across, all right? And hopefully the outcome will be that you have strengthened your singing and your contributions either to quartet or to chorus, or just to your natural wanting to sing on your own. So that's what this is all about. So I'm going to start at the very beginning. That's a very good place to start, okay? And it doesn't start with breathing. It starts before breathing, and it starts with alignment. So if you're going to sing, you need to always physically warm up. And the first thing you have to do is to get yourself aligned. Now, in bed, I suddenly realized I'd made a grave mistake here, because there should be something else in here, but I'm going to cover it verbally so that you hear it. But you need to understand that singing, and singing in the right way, is a whole body experience. And I'm going to stand up, and those of you who may want to stand up can do the same thing, okay? If you can't stand up for whatever reason, please make sure that you are using Julie Lee's isms, that you're sitting on the bones of your bottom so that you're upright, okay? Now, whether you're sitting or standing, the weight needs to be slightly forward. The weight of the body needs to be slightly forward. So I'm doing it with you, okay? I hope everybody else is doing it. I hope everybody is standing up with one foot slightly in front of the other. Now, I've said this to several people in this room already, that I am a left-footed singer. If I stand with my right foot forward, I'm distracted. You will know, if you just stand up now, which way you normally do. Do you put your left foot forward, or do you put your right foot forward? Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you need to feel comfortable, because if they have a distraction, I'm not just talking about singing with other people, I'm talking about singing on your own. I will still look down and find that my one foot is further forward, and that my feet are approximately a shoulder width apart. Okay? If you could do this with me, that would be really, really good. Your knees should be soft, no tension, and the pelvic slightly tucked. All right, now, we saw a video earlier this morning. If you have a belt around here, and this applies to ladies particularly, because you can have a tilt that takes you the wrong way. And when people tell you to tilt your pelvis, you tend to do this, and that's quite severe. So if you just are aware of these muscles here and engage those muscles and have a belt, you'll find that the belt will go from this position to this position. And then you'll know you're in a neutral position without putting any strain on the lower back. Try that at home on your own. Look in the mirror. The mirror is your best friend in all of these. Okay? The next thing is to just make sure that your chest is comfortably wide, all right? So rotate your shoulders. Do that with me now, if you wouldn't mind. Just rotate your shoulders backwards, okay? And be aware of your shoulder blades and feel as if they're going to drop into the pockets back here. And actually, but at the same time, you need to be relaxed. Hands or fingers relaxed, no tension. Head is level, not sticking forward, level, and the jaw relaxed. I did a thing this morning with some of the people in the session. Find the corners of your jawbone, all right, your jawbone, with your thumb, both sides, with your thumb, and gently massage upwards along the edge of the bone. Some people find it easier to do it with the fingers, but you should be able to drop your jaw. Okay, and feel the jaw drop. Now, apparently the theory is, I'm going to sit down for a minute. Okay, the theory is that when you drop your jaw and it's relaxed, that you should be able to fit in 3 fingers worth into your mouth. There's no way I can do that without me locking my jaw. So it's the knuckles, these 3 knuckles, 1, 2, 3. I can't do that. I can get 2, but I can't do 3. So if I can't do that, that might be an indication that I've got jaw tension. And that's why that sort of activity, as your warm-up physical activity, isn't a bad thing to do. Okay, so let's move down. So let's just check we're all sitting or standing in the right position. Feet approximately shoulder width apart or hip distance apart. Weight on the balls of your feet. If you can do that, even if you're sitting, plant your feet firmly on the ground. Feel that posture. Knees, well, it's hard going to be soft if you're sitting down, but keep them as gentle as you can. Pelvis, use your belt, tuck it in the back, okay? Chest wide, shoulders relaxed. Head level with the floor, chin aligned this way, not jutting out. And how many of us do this? And actually, I find I've done a lot of this when I've been doing Zoom work. My chin comes out. So I'm aware of doing this. So I know that when I start to sing properly, when I'm directing the choir, I try and do that to model what I want them to do, so that they will hopefully pick up the visual cues. So number 1, the alignment has got to be absolutely right. And then breath preparation. So we're going to go on to this. So it's alignment first, then it's breathing, right? So, and some of you will have done these exercises before, but I make no apologies for using them again because they're really good. So I want you to just say ch, ch, ch. Say that. So you say it 3 times. Off we go. Ch, ch, ch. That's all. Once again. Ch, ch, ch. Good. Okay, so we're going to say it 7 times this time and take a breath on 8. And then repeat it 4 times. So here we go. And cha, 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 cha. Breathe. 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 Okay. What did you feel was happening? I'm not asking anybody to say anything here, but that's one of the questions. Do I feel comfortable? How am I breathing? Where's the breath going to? Is it staying in the top or is it going down? One of the questions you might like to ask. Another thing that you can do is to do the sound V. Breathe. All right, so you do it for 3 beats, breathe on 4. Again, repeat that, do that, and repeat it 4 times. So off we go. And breath, 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 breath. Good. Okay. You can do the same thing, but then you can do it for 7 beats. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Breathe. Breathe. One more. It's not only helping your breathing, it's helping your mouth here. I'm feeling a tickle around here. I don't know if anybody else is when they're doing that, which is good because that means that we're actually starting to use the face muscles, which is important because that's part of our vocal tract. We use that to change times. All right. The next one, and I'm sure some of you have done some of these with Debbie. It's for none of these are any good on their own, okay? And you are doing these to add strength into the muscles that are taking care of the breathing. That's what it's happening, right? And some of us can breathe better than others. People will say, oh, I want to improve my breathing. These will actually help you do that. So we're going to do a hiss for 3 beats and breathe on 4, okay? And then we go a hiss and for 5 beats and then breathe, and then hiss for 7. So it goes up. You can see it's going to go 3, 5, 7, 13, all in rhythm. This is a standy right one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and breathe. 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 Okay, and I was using much more energy in that. I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but I find I was having to be aware of managing my breath so I could get to the end of the 13. Okay, now, so things to monitor. Am I standing correctly? How am I breathing? Where am I breathing to? Is it going lower down? Am I loose? Is my abdomen wall loose? Am I tension free? Am I breathing noisily? Some of us go, and we don't need to hear that for several reasons. One of the things being that you're pulling in cold air, which is going over the vocal, and it will cause a shock in the muscles at the back. Okay, so let's do this last one again, which I think is particularly good. And I'm going to stand up to do this one. So I'm trying to do 4 or 5 things at the same time. So we're breathing. We're going to go 3, 5, 7, 3. Can't count. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. I shall use my fingers. You can, or you can have a, and I would suggest that you try the long hiss this time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and okay, did anybody feel any tension anywhere? Or did you all do them absolutely perfectly? Anybody acknowledging that they did feel some tension? Well, I will. Yeah, I certainly felt tension. So that is something that I kind of need to improve. Because if you want to get breaths that last right the way through to the end of the phrases, and how many of you have been in competitions where the people have said to you, make sure you get to the end of the phrases and the sound is as good as at the end of the phrase as it is at the beginning. It's because the breath has gone down. So strengthening the muscles to help you manage that is always a good thing to do. So here's your breathing, abdominal breathing, okay? Do you remember what Claire Barnett-Jones suggested for us? Having your hand on your tummy. I'm going to stand up again. She had this here. That's it. Not very pretty, but there you go. Have the hand here, and you push everything out. You go when you're starting, so you push it out. Okay, get rid of it all. Now breathe in. This must come out, and you've still got to keep it like this. But you've got to imagine that this is the zip, and as you breathe in, the zip goes. Now I'll put my hands a bit higher. The zip goes. Eee. And when you're breathing out, it goes, and those are the muscles here working to get it out. So those of you who can stand up, please try standing up now and see what happens. Okay, so ready, breathe out, and breathe in, breathe out. Be aware of bringing it in. Be aware of bringing it in. I didn't bring mine in. All right, I have to be really aware of that. Put my hand down here so I can see myself a little bit more. Okay, do that once again. So get rid of your air. Now breathe in. Out. in, out, in, out, one more, in, and out. Okay, and whilst you're doing this, the pelvis must be in the right position, abdominal breathing, the rib cage comfortable, and it will go in and out because the diaphragm will move, will pull the air in, it sucks it into the vacuum which is in your lungs, there's nothing there. Okay, quick breaths, and this is an important one here. Quick breaths happen more easily when the singer uses all of the air at the end of the phrases. So you need to practice getting rid of all of the air so that you can have fresh air to carry on singing. All right. Now you can do it to counts, and there are different sort of things that you can do. You can do this to a count of 4. And I know Susan does a beautiful breath management one with the square breathing, which I think is absolutely fabulous. I love that one. That's really good. But if you're trying to extend, and not but, and if you're trying to extend your breath management, you can start breathing in for 4 and then breathing out for 4, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 8, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 12. And these are all activities that you could do to extend, to strengthen your muscle support that you need when you're doing one of these singing things that we're doing here. So if you're thinking, right, well, if I've got to do all of this on my own, how will I know what I'm doing? So here's a checklist. Okay, do my shoulders move when I breathe? And with ladies, we have other bits that move as well. Okay, they are a dead giveaway. A dead giveaway. And you can imagine how it's been for me when I've directed men's choruses and I've done this. It's been somewhat challenging, and I have to sort of divorce myself from what I know is actually happening and just get on with the job. No one's ever said anything or made a single sound, which is really good, really, really good. But it's really good when you're working with ladies because you can see whatever it is moves, and it's got to be down here. This is where the breath has got to come to and out. Now, if you look at these professional singers, and if you look at a lot of the quartets that I've seen are going across the convention stage, both male and female, over the last couple of days, they have got their breathing sorted. You can barely see any movement at all, except for the abdominal wall that moves out ever so slightly. So have a look at some of those videos of people doing that. Even, you know, the video that I showed this morning from This Is Me, from The Showman. She breathes absolutely down that. All right, it's a really good, strong abdominal breathing. The abdominal wall is out and she's supporting the sound and it comes out. That's what we need. We need that. So be aware of that, breathing it in properly. Make sure that your shoulders do not move. How often have you seen that? Take a big breath. Well, don't take a big breath. Why would you want a big breath? You only need as much breath as you're going to need to get to the end of the phrase. So taking a big breath is actually counterproductive. You take the breath that you need and you manage it. And you manage it through taking care of your muscles. Do I breathe in noisily? How many of you know that you breathe in noisily? Be honest. How many of you actually don't have a noisy breath at all? I can, when I'm singing and trying to breathe in fast passages, I go, and I can hear myself gasping. I don't know if anybody else is the same. Am I getting nodding heads from people? Good. Well done. Good. Okay. So that we need to be aware of those and we need to reduce that. We need to be able to go. Now, I don't know if you can hear me breathing. I'll do it again. Can you hear that? Okay, and it's not because I'm not in the room with you. It's because I have worked at trying to make my inhalation less noisy. The other thing is also having tension in the upper part of the body. If the shoulders are like this, and the neck and the throat is all tense. So, you know, these exercises that you do, where you rotate your head round, and don't forget the head weighs about 12 pounds, and if it moves forward, it increases the weight. So if you like this or that way, you can see just a lot of strain that happens here. So we don't need any of those that tension there. And the alignment, as you've had, so just check all of those. Don't just go and straight, right, I'm going to sing, here we go, blow the pitch, or have a tune, or put the track on, sing with that. That's not preparing, okay? It's not preparing. Either you're mentally or physically prepared. So if you're monitoring what you are doing, this is what you need to do. It's a form of practice. It's a technical thing that we all do, all right? Additional breathing, all right. Sip to 5, hold for 5, sip to 8. I'm not too sure about this bit here. And the reason why is when people hold the breath, everybody just take a breath. I'm asking you, I'm saying I'm not sure about it and then asking you to do it, but take a breath and hold it and then release. What happens here when you do that? Can anybody tell me? What do they feel? Susan.
I feel a closure. And when,
Exactly.
and I have to think about that when I'm trying to do my breathing exercises, because you can, once I'm aware of it, I can try to I can stop it from doing it. But yeah, I've caught myself closing and it's not.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I do. But it's almost like having, here's the tube, this is where the air's coming out, and you go, all right, I'm going to stick a cork in it. And actually that's counterproductive. So if you can go, and feel as if you are still breathing, even though you are not, and then you can release the sound. Okay, so sip for 5, feel as if you're going and drinking a water maybe. Okay, just drinking in some air and then hissing out for 5. Okay, so let's just try these activities. Ready? Sip to 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hiss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finish. All right. Imagine, I like this image, and it is mental imagery. All right, that you're drinking in water, that you're drinking in air, rather than closing the thing down. Let's do that once again. So you're going sip, 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 little tiny sips of air. Listen to me. Can you hear that? Did you hear that? Listen. All right, tiny, tiny little sips, a sip, a small, and there are times when you need to be able to take those tiny, tiny little breaths. Okay, off we go, and sip, 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 drink, 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 hiss, 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 hiss. Good. Okay, now we're going to go and do it to 7. Off we go, and sip, 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 sip. Oh. I used to do something similar to this with my students when I was preparing them to do some singing activities with children in school, and I would get them to do in groups of 4. So I'm going to change it now, and I'm going to go ask you to sip in 4 and then to hiss out for 8 with a hold of 4 in the middle. Off we go, and sip, 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 drink, 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 hiss 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Now up to 12. Same thing. And sip, 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 sip. 1, 2. So you can do all sorts of variations and keeping that even. Now, how do we know when it's going to be even? We can use this, the same sort of thing. We need to use to be able to get our breath. And if this will work, I'll try my best. The idea, oops, I've disappeared. Oh, there we are. And the idea is to not sip the water in. So sip the air in. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want to have it bubbling, which invariably happens if you suddenly get hold of something like that and you put an extra whack of air in to get the sound in. But we're trying to get those little bubbly things as even as they possibly can be. So that's an important thing. How many of you ever tried singing into a mirror and it fogs? Yeah, well, that's another thing that you can do. If you haven't got a mirror, use a CD. How many of you still got old CDs with the shiny bits at the back? You could use that. And you use that if you
Rhiannon?
haven't been. Hello?
There was a question. Do you have your original sound on?
I have no idea.
Because some of the quieter things are a little harder to hear.
So you want it on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Ah, it's on now. Okay, so you can tell me whether it's going to be better. Thanks for that. It could be because I'm speaking quietly. Ah, I'm not sure, but it might be. I hope this is where I was. Can you still see it? Can you see that or not? No, I can't see your heads now, so
No,
I
we
need to come
can't.
out of the. Okay, we'll just close it up. Okay. Close this. Start it again. Go to share screen. Go to the PowerPoint. And it's pouring with rain outside. Can you see it now?
Still no.
Oh, still no. This is really interesting. I wonder why this is happening.
It doesn't say you're sharing yet, Rhiannon.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I've actually had it and oh, come back. But you know, there's a little bit at the bottom and it says share. Well, I forgot to touch that. Yes? Everybody, can you see that? Yeah, thank goodness. Okay. So bubbling is important. Back to what I was saying. How long have I got? Rita, how long is it now?
It's only 25 to.
Oh, that's fine. That's great. Thanks very much. Okay. So if you want to extend your breathing, you can either start off with small phrases, bubbling, and then doing 2 phrases back to back without taking a breath in the middle. And then the same thing with 4, and it extends and it helps you manage what you're doing. You can bubble happy birthday. All right. It's curious to see the word splat there because Christine was talking about that in an earlier session. So it's great to see that word. All right. But bubbling is a really good exercise to help you control your breath, but also to help you with your vocal tract work and management of all of those things. This is mental imagery, which helps with breathing technique. And trouble is, if I mention this word, everybody's going to do it. So I'm not going to do it. Okay. You are! There are at least 3 of you that did. I saw it. But that was the music team. Okay. Say the word oh, 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 oh. Really relax your throat. Put your hand on here. Oh, oh, oh. Do another vowel. Right, good, well done. Breathe in on the shape of an R. Breathe in the shape of an oo. These are just things that you can do just to help you focus on trying to get yourself relaxed when you're singing. There's another bit here which says, imagine stepping into the North Sea and you go, really cold. That's a quick intake. That's a reflex breath. That's really good, okay? Drinking a pint of air. Drink it. Take this glass in your hand. All of you do it with me. I know you'll feel silly, but I don't care. We're in a room. We can be silly together. Imagine it's full of air and just drink it and make it coat all of your teeth. Okay, did you feel the back of your throat opening a little bit? It does open. It does open. All right. And imagine the air is going down a large pipe at the back of the neck, which of course it is. Right. So now we're going to do some vocal prep. Hum one note, any note at your own comfortable pitch. So please do that now. This is my comfortable note. Could be there, no, there. And I know it's comfortable because I can feel my teeth vibrating. They're not, but I can. All right. And this time I want you to go. Really slowly. I'm only using 5 vowels. That's all I can cope with. Off we go. And I'll take a breath if you need it. Just doing that. Those are the basic vowels as far as I'm concerned. There are modifications of them, but that's the basic vowels. Okay, sing the same sequence on the first patterns of a major scale. So you go on the comfortable pitch, sing the same vowel sequence using the following pattern of notes from a major scale. So it's so it's going to be we'll change it to an O. Change it to a ma. Now I'm assessing myself as I'm going on, and I know that wasn't good, so I will do that again. Ma, ma. You know yourselves when you come to a gear change and there's a clunk in your voice. If you're managing it easily, that's fine. Just keep going up through the notes and then do exactly the same thing coming back. All right, so you go up a semitone, ba da 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 da, up that way, then da 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 da, all the way down. Just using these basic things. You don't need to do all of these every single time. Just say I'm going to target this, this, and this in this session and see how I'm doing. Repeat the same things on this note pattern. Da. Off we go. Ma. Down a semitone. Bum bum. Could do it on May. May. That could be better. I need to take care of my M, so I press into a bit more because it's a singable sound. I know that my breath needs control at the end, so I'm aware of that. I don't know if you're all being disturbed. I have got an almighty storm going on outside of my conservatory. Is it affecting what you can hear? Is it fine? Good. Yippee! Okay, and then we've got another one. Which is the other way around. The same activities. You can do one way and then change it around and do it another one. You could start with another vowel. You could start with an N. Na, na. You could start with an L. La. You could start with a V. Va. All of these are singable sounds. Okay, find what I call a singable vowel, a consonant. A singable consonant sound that pushes into, so you can feel that you're leaning into it. It's affecting me now, this noise. I'm going to close the doors. Just bear with me 1 minute, please. Are you all right in here, Joe? Come on, continue. You don't like that. Oh, that's better. I hope I don't lose connection. Right, and so we keep going. What's the next bit? Extra suggestions. A good exercises that you can do on a regular basis. On a low note, as low as you can, okay? Sing numbers of the notes of the scale. Do, re, do, re, do, re, do, re. And see how far you can go without having to take a breath, having done all the other things. So you're monitoring, you're teaching yourself things that you can do to get yourself to sing better and more in control of your breath and of your voice. Do the same thing a bit higher. Do, re, not too loud, not too soft. Do, re, then do it a bit louder. Do, re, MF means moderate, mezzo forte, which is half strong or loud, okay? And then you do the same thing on an A, which is above that. Said this before, make sure you get rid of all the old air, and hopefully this will improve your breath management. Tuning, right. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 1 or 8, I don't care. Okay, sing up and down a major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 or 8, I don't care. Then back down 8, or 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you go 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. What are we doing here? We're practicing little leaps and jumps. It's called intervallic sequencing. All right. There's lots of other little exercises which I'm going to do in the warm-up session a little bit later on. In lots of Simon's songs, we have what I call tiny little half-step notes. They are chromatic, tiny half steps. And this activity is quite an interesting one for you to do, which I'll do a little bit later on. So those are the kind of things that you can do. You can access all of these, and you are your best monitors. Your ears are there. Sometimes we don't sing very well. Sometimes my intonation, how many times have I sung a track and listened to it and I thought, that is appalling. I am all over the place with my intonation. Okay? It could be a whole range of things. Lack of attention or concentration. This is really important. Lack of energy. If you're not well, don't sing. All right? If you're tired, don't sing. Mentally, you won't be prepared, and physically, neither will you. Okay? Sometimes we don't listen properly. 20% of what we hear internally in our head is bone conduction. We don't sound like what we think we sound outside. Do you know your part? Are you nervous? Have you done those intervals that I was talking about? Okay. Tonal center, singing against the key. You know when Simon gives us his tracks and he blows the pitch or he sings the pitch, that's always the key of the piece of music. So if you want to practice against that, you can just find that note either on a pitch pipe or your T tuner. Keep that going and try singing your line against that and see if you are in tune. All right. Sometimes you've got too much tension in your voice and you need, there are repeated notes, breathing technique. All of these are things for you to consider. But these are the kind of the things when you're more secure in analysing your voice as you're going on. Final thoughts. Faces really, really matter, okay? Because our good faces enhance good sound. So develop an inner smile. Everybody just close their mouths. Now, I can't do this without opening my mouth, okay? But I'll try and model it. Think of something really nice. Smelling roses. And the nasal cavity's open. Okay? Just be aware of that. It will lift the muscles, and that's what we're trying to do. Lift the muscles because it's all about tongue position. Nothing to do with your soft palate. It's all about tongue position, which we can manipulate. So it's muscle training. Relaxed jaw, I've mentioned already. The tongue should be relaxed. Okay, really, really relaxed. Like that. It will curve according to what vowel you are singing. The oo, 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 or the a, the oo, ooh, e, e, e. The tongue changes position. Play around with that. Oh, here's the thunder. And it's really important to just try that. So just play around doing R, A, E, O, ooh. Now, if you wanted, there is something called the pink trombone that you could find online, which is a toy, the pink trombone. And it's a model of a mouth, and you can move the cursor around so you can hear and see how the tongue changes position according to what vowel that you're singing. And it's just a bit of fun because you're thinking when you're R, your tongue is fairly flat. Okay, when it's E, it's here. E, ooh, ooh, it's lower, it's flat at the front and it's higher at the back. It's all about tongue position, and the pink trombone will show you that. All right. Goodness me, the heavens have opened. Right. You'll be able to access all of these. All of these have got supposedly 12 vowel sounds in it. Okay. Use your mirror. If you're learning a song with a learning track, try to match the vowels. Now we have this discussion. What vowel is he singing? Is it an A? Is it an O? What's he doing? It depends on which part he's singing, because he will modify his vowels according to where he is in his resonant frequencies. But that is a different session altogether. Okay. So there you are. It's all there. It could be 90, 10 for a diphthong, or it could be 80, 20. Consonants are there to give meaning to the sound. And that's what it's all about. Posture, breathing, stamina. Yeah. Does it take stamina to sing? Yes, it does. Resonance has to do with your tongue, placement, tone, timbre, articulation, intonation, accuracy. You are your best monitors. You can do that. You've got an outline of activities that you can actually follow. There's the thunder. If I get to the end of this without being cut off, it will be a miracle. Okay, I'm coming out of this quite hurriedly. So are there any questions that I've missed out, Miranda? No? Has anybody else got any questions at all? Sorry, say that again, please. Not a one, not a single question. Well, that's pretty good. Not a single question. I've blinded you with science. I really would suggest that you try and use this approach. Okay. Use this approach just to listen to yourselves. Before you do anything, just when you're learning the stuff that we're going to be learning with Simon, we haven't got any music to look at, so it's all about listening and really locking into what he's doing. So before you start doing all of those singing, make sure that your voice is warmed up. Make sure you're in good position, that you're breathing correctly. Check yourself, monitor yourself all the time. How many of you rehearse looking at yourselves in the mirror? All the heads are shaking, and I could do that as well because I don't. All right. The only time I see myself singing is when I'm on Zoom, because I don't like looking at myself. All right. So make the mirror your best friend. Excuse me. This is my alarm. Stop. That's telling me to go online to do something else. Oh, which I'm not going to do. It's just to remind me that I must do it soon. So I hope that's been of some use. I hope it's been useful and accessible for you to be able to go away and try. And if you've got any questions, just come back and ask me or ask Simon or ask anybody really. Ask, anyone who's on the music team about these things, because they will all know, and there are things that we all do, but we've not thought about them and that we're not aware that we're actually doing them. But if we analyze it, we suddenly realize we are. So we should all be able to help you. Thank you for coming and spending some time with me. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.